بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي ونسلم على رسوله الكريم أما بعد. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My dear respected brothers and elders and whoever's listening, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned in the Quran, عسى أن تكرهوا شيئا وهو خير لكم وعسى أن تحبوا شيئا وهو شر لكم والله يعلم وأنتم لا تعلمون. So Allah ta'ala is saying that perhaps there's something which you dislike. Perhaps there's something which you dislike when in fact the thing which you dislike it's good for you. وَعَسَىٰ أَن تُحِبُّوا شَيْئًا وَهُوَ شَرٌّ لَكُمْ, and perhaps there's something which you وَعَسَىٰ أَن تُحِبُّوا شَيْئًا وَهُوَ شَرٌّ لَكُمْ, and perhaps there's something which you like when in fact the thing which you like it's not good for you, it's bad for you. وَاللَّهُ أَعْلَمُ وَأَنْتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. Allah Ta'ala knows best, Allah Ta'ala knows better, and you don't know. So in other words, Allah Ta'ala, He knows what to do with you, and He knows what to do with us better than we know what to do with ourselves. So there's two sides to the current situation which we're facing at the moment. Now one is a negative side and the other is a positive side. So if we look at the negative side of things is that okay, everyone's stuck at home and there's this big panic and fear that okay, I could be infected by an illness or by a disease, and not only that, but there's concerns for our general welfare. There's there's concerns for our livelihood, money, rizq, food, jobs, the economy, the society. So now these things could be burdensome, and these things it's worrying. At the same time, there's also a positive side to what we're seeing now. Now, what's the positive side? That okay, one thing is that we're at home, and this is giving us a chance and an opportunity to reflect and to really ponder over life and to really connect ourselves with Allah Ta'ala. Another thing is, another positive we can take from this is that there's this famous saying in Arabic that قدر النعمة بعد الزوال, that the value for ni'mah, the value for a favor or a bounty which Allah Ta'ala has blessed one with. So in other words, the value for a blessing that only comes after it's gone. So now it's a chance to really reflect on the blessings which we did have. For example, we had this blessing of just walking into the supermarket and buying anything we want, and everything was our own convenience. It was a 24-hour shop, Tesco's, and there was always things which were always in stock. Things were always coming in from all over the world, all sorts of products. So everything we had, it was at our convenience, and this was a ni'mah, this was a bounty from Allah Ta'ala. Allah Ta'ala mentions in the Quran the إِيلَافِ قُرَيْشٍ إِيلَافِهِمْ رِحْلَةَ الشِّتَاءِ وَالصَّيْفِ, that the Quraysh, so they were a major tribe in Arabia. Obviously the family of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and everyone was involved in the Quraysh. So Allah Ta'ala, He talks about the Quraysh and the fact that they used to travel during the summer and the winter for business trips. So they had this privilege where when they would travel, no one would trouble them. They were at peace, and they were at ease to acquire goods from Syria and bring them back to Mecca. So this is a blessing, so to have this privilege where, we didn't even, for us especially, we don't even have to go to those lengths to really stretch out and get goods from other countries and other places. We had this privilege of just, waking up and going to Tesco's or Asda or, whenever we wanted. This is a blessing to ponder over. So that's another positive we can take, that we can now really start to ponder over the blessings which Allah Ta'ala has blessed us with, and we can start to appreciate them, inshallah Ta'ala. And another thing we can take from this is that, okay, even if a person, for example, they do get ill, it's not that bad, and it's not all doom and gloom. Why? Because once our Prophet ﷺ, he visited this woman. So the hadith goes as following: عادني رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم وأنا مريضة فقال أبشري يا أم العلا. So our Prophet ﷺ told this woman. So this woman, she was ill, and our Prophet ﷺ, he was visiting her, and he said, she was an old woman, Abshiri ya Ala, that glad tidings be to you, O Ala. Her name was Ala. So glad tidings be to you, O Ala. فإن مرض المسلم يذهب الله به خطاياه كما تذهب النار خبث الذهب والفضة. That Allah Ta'ala eliminates and removes the sin of an ill Muslim due to his illness, the way fire removes the dirt from gold and silver. So one thing you should remember is that if someone is into mining, then when they find nuggets of gold and silver, obviously they're usually quite dirty, and you can't use your normal sponge and liquid to clean it up and make it sparkling shiny. You have to go through a different process, to cleanse this gold and silver. You can't even use the cooker at home. It has to go through a furnace. So once it goes through this furnace, obviously it's a very discomforting process. You have to really burn out all that dirt. But once it's burnt and everything, then the gold and silver, it comes out, sparkling and shiny. So in the same manner, on a Muslim, he or she, they go through these difficulties and illnesses, then this illness is a means of, it's a discomforting phase, and it's against one's desires. But when a person goes through this illness, then inshallah ta'ala, there's light at the end of it. A person's sins are overlooked, and a person's sins are forgiven. So it's not always doom and gloom. So sometimes calamities and disasters, they can be a test, and they can also sometimes be a sign of love of Allah Ta'ala's love for that person. You can say it's a bit like medicine. No matter how disgusting it tastes, you still give it to someone who you love. Another thing to do whilst we're in this situation is to engage oneself in making dua. There are many du'as which our Prophet ﷺ has taught us in these type of situations and circumstances. But I'll just mention one. This is very easy to learn, and it's very famous, it's very common as well. La ilaha illa ant subhanaka inni kuntu min al-zalimin. La ilaha illa ant subhanaka inni kuntu min al-zalimin. This is a dua which Yunus alayhi salatu wasalam, he read whilst he was in the stomach of a whale. And when he read this dua, things just turned upside down for him. He was in the darkness of this whale's belly, and everything just looked impossible. There was no way out. But after reciting this dua, his fortune changed, and Allah Ta'ala blessed him with the complete opposite. There he was inside this whale's stomach. There was no chance of surviving, and then, but after doing this dua, everything just turned on its head. So let's hope that inshallah ta'ala that if a person reads this dua with sincerity, inshallah ta'ala, ulama, they've recommended that person at least tries to make effort to read this at least 100 times a day, minimum at least 100 times a day, inshallah ta'ala. La ilaha illa ant subhanaka inni kuntu min al-zalimin. So if a person does that, inshallah ta'ala, it's very easy. Well, if a person's at home, then even easier. But even if a person's still during these times they have to go work, then something you can do inside the car, or something you can do whilst walking. So it's very easy, inshallah ta'ala, to make time for this. Another matter is concerning sadaqah, that generally the reward for any action, one is that there's a reward which a person normally gets, and another is that when there's a dire need for such an action, then the reward of that is also multiplied according to the need. So now we've noticed that all over the country, masajids, they've closed their doors, especially for Jumma, and Jumma was usually the main day where income was generated for the masjid, whereby they could maintain their expenses, and they can maintain their day-to-day costs. So now, since the masajids have been closed, and we're not entirely sure about the bills and everything, but there's still a need for brothers and sisters to donate generously, inshallah ta'ala. And there's great hope that if a person donates and a person gives sadaqah during these times, then the reward will be even greater in comparison to the normal times which a person gives sadaqah. Also, our Prophet ﷺ has said in a hadith that he was asked a question by someone, أي صدقة أفضل, that which form of sadaqah is the best. So our Prophet ﷺ said, أنت الصدق وأنت صحيح حريص, that you give sadaqah whilst you're healthy and whilst you desire that money, whilst you have this inclination and love towards that money. أنت الصدق وأنت صحيح حريص تأمل البقاء وتخشى الفقر, and you have hopes of living, and at the same time you fear poverty. So in other words, you're healthy, you want that money, and you've got your whole life ahead of you, and at the same time you face poverty, تخشى الفقر, you fear being poor. So our Prophet ﷺ said that during these times and situations, لا تمهل, that don't delay giving sadaqah, حتى إذا بلغت الحلقوم, until don't delay until you reach the last stages of your life, and then you start saying, قلت لفلان كذا ولفلان كذا وقد كان لفلان. Then you start saying at the last moments that, give my money to so and so and this organization and that organization. In other words, if a person gives sadaqah during the last period of their life or during the last moments of their life, there's nothing wrong with that, it's fine. But the best time and the best occasion for a person to give sadaqah is at that moment when they're young, or when they have their life ahead of them, and they want to keep that money, but there's this itchiness in their pocket to not to give that money away. So when a person he goes against his desires and he gives that money away, he gives something in the path of Allah Ta'ala, then such a sadaqah, such an act is valued greatly by Allah Ta'ala and is rewarded greatly by Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala. So may Allah Ta'ala gives us tawfiq to benefit, inshallah Ta'ala. And also I request all of the listeners to keep me in their du'as, inshallah Ta'ala, and not just myself, but the entire ummah of our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in their du'as, inshallah Ta'ala. May Allah Ta'ala gives us tawfiq to make it out of the situation with ease, inshallah Ta'ala, and may Allah Ta'ala protect us from all difficulties and calamities, inshallah Ta'ala. سبحان الله بحمده سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.